Yoga is a pagan sex ritual, Michael. As has been pointed out ad nauseum by comment trolls since this bit first began, the Femme Fatale World Cup is a true World Cup in which well-paid players from squads all over Europe change jerseys and play up their grandmother's accents to represent the districts beyond Capital City in a televised death match with indecipherable rules meant to provide circus for the masses while the muckety-mucks eat until they barf and then eat some more. Since it is a truly global competition, it seems appropriate to take instruction from the foremost citizen of the world and the first U.S. president not born on this continent, Barry Soetoro, who, ignoring the actual Christian faith of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., scolds us that the arc of the moral universe may bend toward justice, but it is not doing so on its own. Indeed, it does so by way of money. And, in the end, might finally made right, even in the World Cup, with France GDP $2.46 trillion, obliterating Croatia with its GDP of roughly $50 billion, pretty much destroying every funny joke about the World Cup. Fortunately, we here at the Daily Wire 2 managed to secure an interview with one of America's top soccer players to explain what went so wrong for Croatia and so right for basic capitalist principles.
Well, here we are with one of America's foremost soccer experts. Let me ask you, what is your favorite thing about the beautiful sport? What did you make of Giroud's performance in the World Cup? Okay, well, here's a better question. Croatia has a GDP of $50.43 billion. Their chief export is transport equipment. How do you think that factored into their matchup with France, whose three chief exports are cheese, wine, and cowardice? Well, I guess the only question in the aftermath of France and Croatia's final, will Germany rise again? That's all the time we have.
Thank you, Ben, for that very important interview. Of course, the biggest news of the weekend was not France being on the wrong side of history. It was FIFA's bold and courageous decision to stand up to the patriarchy by no longer giving women any screen time whatsoever at future World Cup matches. In an official statement, FUFU President Eduardo on the Take claimed that women have no place at the World Cup unless they are homely and insufferable, in which case it's still okay to show them as long as you pay them exactly 0% of what you're paying the male players who are far less interesting to watch. Feminists the world over celebrated the news that American men would no longer have any reason whatsoever to tune in to this mind-numbing snooze fest by cackling like angry hens about how evil men are for no longer tuning in to this mind-numbing snooze fest. The trans community objected to the news that women can no longer be shown at soccer matches simply because they look like women by reminding us that while the gender pay gap is real, gender is not, and that looking like a woman is pretty much the definition of womanhood. That's just science. U.S. President Donald Trump responded to the announcement that hot babes would no longer get airtime at the World Cup by pulling America out of hosting the games in 2026, calling America's traditional allies losers, and asking Republican superdonor Elliot Broidy for the number of that playmate he definitely didn't have sex with. And that's all the news for the 2018 World Cup. I want to give a special thanks to Twitter handle StrangelandElf for being lovely in every way and for not flying to Los Angeles and killing us before today's broadcast. And to the 6 or 7 people who actually thought this bit was funny. Soccer truly sucks, and Germany will rise again. Michael, yoga is a pagan sex ritual. Back to you.
Really is the best part of the sport.
Really thorough reporting, Jeremy. Yeah. Thank you. So I was really taken all around the world with that.
Now, I'll confess to being pretty much out of jokes.
But that doesn't mean we're going to stop the segment.
Oh, God, no.
No, absolutely not. That would never hold that against us. I do have to wonder, though. So France won the World Cup. Is this not the great triumph of this segment that we've done now for weeks? Can a sport be a sport if France can win it?
That's a fair point. You know, I always feel bad for our friends, the French. I mean, after all, they did help us win the American Revolution. That was the last war in which they showed heroism, bravery, backbone, spine.
Of course.
It worked out well for us.
That's true. And then all the people that helped us in that revolution, by the way, promptly had their heads cut off about 10 years later.
That's right.
As we now fly the flag of the French army. Really thorough reporting, Jeremy. I can't wait to keep talking about this important, beautiful game. When will the next soccer match be that we can watch and talk about?
I'm going to have to be just plainly honest with you, Michael. I don't know crap about soccer. I don't know who plays it or when. They built this brand new stadium in Los Angeles. I don't think that's for the World Cup, which is still 8 years from now.
Could be. Who knows, really?
As far as I know. I will say that according to social media, a lot of people do go to soccer matches at said stadium. Which is somewhere in Southern California.
Well, I have to give you a lot of props, though, Mr. God King, because your network, our sister network, Daily Wire 2, really did stream phenomenal coverage of all of the game over the weekend, and people can go check that out. I really liked it at dailywire2.com, so maybe people can check that out. Mr. God King, I can't thank you enough. You've really shown me the light on this beautiful sport, and great news that President Trump is reacting to the cancellation of Babes in that way. Can't wait for the United States never to host the World Cup.
He is constant as the North Star.
Yeah. Jeremy the God King Boreing, everybody. Daily Wire 2. Thank you very much.
Bam!